Yes, come on. Everyone, in fact, yesterday itself I thought like this problem would get rectified. That's why so confidently I have informed you that tomorrow you'll be having the class. But unfortunately there was no class yesterday. Today I am taking the class. In fact, the class which is supposed to take yesterday, I am taking the class today, right? With so confident, I explained you like even though there is a curfew or some lockdown, whatever may be the thing, but yet you will be having the class tomorrow. This is what I said in the day before yesterday. But unfortunately, I couldn't make out because of the technical glitches. There are some technical issues. Right now, all the technical issues got set right. Though it may be lockdown, though it may be corona, though it may be tsunami, now the classes won't stop. Until we complete all our sessions, there is no stopping of the classes. All my friends, all you people are there, thanks for your patience, thanks for your understanding, thanks for being standing with our Vision IAS. Now, after the brief introduction of the new session of or the new mode of entering the classrooms, now let us start with our subject. What is the subject? What is the topic? We are in the ecology and environment, and we have completed the first module of ecology, where it talks about all the basics, rules and regulations. Whatever the rules that the ecology demands, all the rules are being discussed in depth. Even some of the very important clauses which are present there, like Allen's rule, Gloger's rule, Gauss rule, 10% law. Also, we talk about the food chain, food web, ecological pyramids, then the succession, the persons who are behind the concept of ecological succession, all these things. After discussing all these things, now we entered into the second module, which is called as the biodiversity. The model is called as the biodiversity, and within this biodiversity also, we started with starting from the series starting. These are the concepts where we already talked about, like we talked about the basic concepts in the biodiversity. What is the definition of biodiversity? What is the importance of the biodiversity? Types and measurements. What do you mean by the types and the measurements? We have seen the types, different types like species biodiversity. Then we talked about the genetic biodiversity. I have given the examples even also in the practical world how the genetic biodiversity can be given. Then also we discussed something regarding what is called as the ecosystem biodiversity. These are the three different types of biodiversity we have seen. These are the types of biodiversities. After the types of biodiversities, we have came across the measurements of the biodiversities, like alpha measurement, beta measurement, gamma measurement. I have even displayed three very important pictures, like one is site A, site B, site C, and demonstrated how to calculate the alpha measurement, how to calculate the beta measurement, even the gamma measurement. What are the main two important key terms in the measurement of biodiversity? They are richness and one is richness and evenness. What is the richness? Number of species they are located in one particular region. This is what the richness, and the abundance of that particular species, where it is called as the evenness. These are the things where we discussed in the previous class. After this one, then we came to the next concept called as the threats of biodiversity. Then we came across the threats of biodiversity. What are the different threats where the biological diversity is facing? After seeing the different threats, then we came across the conservation techniques. Importance of biodiversity, threats of biodiversity, conservation techniques. In the conservation techniques, I have given two different types, like the two classifications. One is called as the in situ, another one is the ex situ. This is one type. The other type of classification is called as area based conservation, the species based conservation. We will be focusing more on what is called as the in situ and ex situ, because this is the one which forms the base of the classification of the biodiversity. Within this one, we discussed in the previous class, day before yesterday, ex situ conservation. All the ex situ conservation is done like biological, botanical gardens, zoological parks, then the cryopreservation, the seed banks. Then also we discussed something like what is called as the in situ. Within the in situ, we came across the sacred groves. We discussed number of sacred groves. There are thousands of sacred groves in India. Out of all the sacred groves, some of the sacred groves we have given some of the examples in the Nilgiris, even in the Meghalaya. We talked about the sacred groves that are present in the Jharkhand. After discussing these sacred groves, then we need to enter into what is called as the national parks, wildlife sanctuaries and the biosphere reserve. In a very brief outlook, I have given what is the need for introducing the biosphere reserve. We were having the concept of national park, we were having the concept of wildlife sanctuary. Within the wildlife sanctuary, one particular species or maybe two particular species are preserved. In the national park, the entire area along with the species will be preserved there. When they are protected there, not only the species, along with the species, even the monuments that are present there are also protected. When all this been protected, why there is a need for again one more concept which is called as biosphere reserve. This is what we discussed in the previous class, and I have given that, and we talked about this one. All these things are done. Threats to the diversity, we have discussed all these things, and we talked about, hope this is this PPT was there for you already. It is reached, it is uploaded, right? Then see the differences. After seeing the differences between the biodiversity, national parks and the wildlife sanctuaries, then we will see the biosphere reserve. What is the concept I have explained yesterday? Whenever we are having the concepts, two concepts like national parks and the wildlife sanctuaries, when both they are there already, why the need of introducing biosphere? What is the need of introducing the biosphere? This is what we discussed. What is the need of introducing the biosphere reserves in the conservation techniques? Because these national parks and the wildlife sanctuaries, whenever they are announced as a protected area, the people, the tribal people, whoever they are staying within the protected areas, they were not allowed to stay in their own habitation. When the people are not given due importance, where the animals, plants and other monuments are given importance, where the people started raising their voice. There is a very important live case study. Some of the NGOs where the ecologists, they went and they have taken interview with the tribal people who are living in the Sundarbans. What is the statement given by the people who are living in the Sundarbans when entire India was celebrating the jubilation because of rising population of the tigers? What the statement the local people who are living in the Sundarbans, they kept their grievance out. What they said is, entire India is celebrating the rise of the population of the tigers, but we people are suffering because of the rise of the population of the tigers. When the population of the tigers are at rise, our population is at decline. Therefore, we are not so happy by seeing the rise of the population of the tigers. This is what the local people have given the statement. In order to avoid the man and animal conflict, see the point. In order to avoid the man and the animal conflict, the new concept under United Nations, the new concept was brought, which is called as the man and biosphere. Man and biosphere concept. In this concept, what was given importance? Not just the animals were given importance, even the human life was also given due importance. Because of giving greater emphasis on the human life, now the human never treated animals as their enemies. Man and the wildlife started living in a symbiotic relation. This is the importance of the biosphere, and biosphere became very important concept in the entire world countries. Before going to see how many biosphere reserves are there in India, what are there, where they are located, what type of species they are found there, before going to see all the entire concept regarding the biosphere, let us have a brief introduction regarding the national park and the wildlife sanctuary. What is the difference between the national park and the wildlife sanctuary? At the same time, what are the important national parks? How many are there? Let us take some of the important national parks and discuss something unique that is present in the national parks, along with the important wildlife sanctuaries, the important wildlife that is present in the world country, in the India, not world countries, in India. We will be seeing all these things. Before going to see this one, let us start with what is called as the differences, the comparison between national park and the wildlife sanctuaries. Come on, let us see the comparison. Let us see the comparison between the national park and the biosphere reserve. Very important. Many of the people, they are they are unable to understand the importance of the national park and the wildlife sanctuary. What makes the difference between these two? This comparison, if at all you are having the clarity regarding the comparison, definitely you can answer good number of questions regarding the wildlife sanctuary and the national park. Come on, let us see the meaning. What is the meaning of national park and the meaning of wildlife sanctuary? If please note at least in a bullet points. What is the meaning? Let us see the meaning. If at all you are seeing the meaning of the national park and the wildlife sanctuary, what is the wildlife sanctuary? Wildlife sanctuary is the natural habitat. It is natural habitat. And so, national park is also a natural habitat. National park is also natural habitat. Natural habitat. Wildlife sanctuary is a natural habitat. Even the national park is also natural habitat. They are not the artificial or the man-made habitations. They are the natural habitations. But what is the difference? These are established by the government. Of course, that is also established by the government. But see the area. Protection of a particular species. It may be a particular species, maybe a bird, maybe animal, maybe some of the plant species. Protection of one specific species, maybe not just one species, maybe 2 or 3 species, but only that species will be protected. Whenever you are naming one particular species, only that particular species is protected, no other species is taken care. Though that particular species may be nearby in the accessible area, but the care will not be taken. That is what the wildlife sanctuary. But unlike in the national park is not such concept. What is a national park? Entire area is taken care, now see here, which are established by the government to conserve the wildlife. When we say it will be conserving the wildlife, it will be conserving the entire locality. The next one, preserves. What it preserves? Let us see the preserves. What it preserves? What it preserves? It preserves animals, birds, insects, reptiles. Maybe one particular species again. What it is concerned with, only the life that is present there, not the area as a whole. But here, not just flowers, trees, vegetation, also fauna, What is flora? The plant kingdom. What is fauna? Animal kingdom. Not just flora and fauna, even the landscape. Even the landscape. The land that is present, what type of topography can find there, entire that region. What is the landscape? The entire area that is present in a large geographical region. This is the landscape. Not only this one, within that particular area, if there are any, the historical objects, even that historical objects are also being protected. That is the importance of the national park. National park has got a wider meaning. Unlike the wildlife sanctuary where it is having a narrow meaning, right? Then, what is the objective? The objective of the national park, see the objective of the national park, to protect the natural historic objectives and along with the wildlife of an area. Plants, animals, area, historical objects, whatever is present in that area is being protected. If there is a river, in the national park, if there is a river, yes, the river is also protected. There is no question of pollution. There is no question of allowing anyone to take bath there in the river or to even to consume the water also. Absolutely not. If there is a river moving in the national park, can you give any examples like any river which is flowing through the national park? This type of understanding, this type of interpretation, this type of analysis for you is very, very important. Like I will give you some of the examples. You can compare like which river is flowing through which national park. You can compare like this. Come on, let me give you some of the examples like through the Jim Corbett National Park. There is a national park called as Jim Corbett. There is a national park called as Jim Corbett National Park. Let me take come on, it's called as Jim Corbett National Park. It's called as the Jim Corbett National Park. Jim Corbett National Park. What is this one? This is a national park. Right in full, the Jim Corbett National Park. Why we are giving Jim Corbett National Park as the first one? Because which national park is the first national park of India? It is this one. What is the importance of the Jim Corbett National Park? This is the first national park of India. You can make note of this one. Jim Corbett National Park was the first national park of India. It was the concept of national park was borrowed from the United Nations. In fact, United Nations taken that product or taken that concept of announcing any one particular region as national park from the United States of America, from USA. Which is the first national park of the world as such? Which is the first national park of the world as such? It is called as, the very, very important one called as Yellowstone National Park. Where this Yellowstone National Park? It is there in the Wyoming state of USA. The world's first national park concept was brought here by the USA in the national park called as the Yellowstone National Park. What is the importance of this Yellowstone National Park? Yellowstone National Park is the one where the importance, see the importance, you can find one very important geyser. There is a geyser, probably you might have heard about this one in the subject called as geography. There is a geyser called as Old Faithful Geyser. Old Faithful Geyser. The Old Faithful Geyser, which is a wonderful geyser, and it is one very important geyser present in the Yellowstone National Park. Where do you find this Yellowstone National Park? Suppose if this is the country like USA, suppose if this is if this is a country, if this is the USA, this is the area where you can find the Wyoming state. Within this Wyoming state, you can find the Yellowstone National Park. This is the area. Yellowstone National Park, the world's important area where you can find the volcanism that is happening in the middle of the region. And in the year 2020, there is a great news regarding this Yellowstone National Park. What is the importance of this one? Because of the rupture created by the Zhuangdi-Fuca plate. What are these plates? The entire lithosphere got broken into different plates because of the rupture made by the minor plate. All they are important because by the rupture made by Zhuangdi-Fuca plate. There is a minor plate called as the Zhuangdi-Fuca, very important plate. There is a plate called as Zhuangdi-Fuca plate. This is the plate where the name of this plate is the Spanish word. The Zhuangdi-Fuca plate is having a rupture like this. Suppose if this is the Zhuangdi-Fuca plate, this is the plate which is called as the North American plate. It is having the rupture. Because of the rupture created by the Zhuangdi-Fuca plate with the North American plate, what is happening? You can find the rupture. Because the rupture, what happened? You can find the creation of fault line. You can find the creation of the fault line. This fault line is very famous. Though you have come across all these things in geography, yet I am showing this one again because this is a very important point. This can be a question anywhere, maybe in geography, maybe in ecology and environment. My target is whenever you get any question regarding any part, you need to get the mark. That's why I am again repeating this one. Though you have read this thing in your subject geography, right? Now, the fault line called as, see the name of the fault line. The fault name is called as San Andreas. Very important fault line. San Andreas fault line. What the geologists in the USA have discovered is there is an organization called as USGS. There is an organization called as USGS, United States Geological Survey. This organization has proved beyond doubt that, what is the point they have proved? This San Andreas fault line and the Yellowstone National Park are closely interconnected. The moment whenever they are fractured, means what? The Zhuangdi-Fuca plate makes a rupture, the Yellowstone National Park volcanism starts growing. The volcanism starts erupting. That is what happened even in the year 2019-2020. There was certain small ruptures that are made and there was a volcanism eruption took place. This is what happened for the Yellowstone National Park. And the moment once the Yellowstone National Park triggers, entire United States of America will be on their toes. Why? Because already so much great accumulation of the energy was there. They are waiting for the triggering factors. Any triggering factor is there, maybe an earthquake, maybe a tsunami, maybe a volcanism, any triggering factor is there, it will create a very great devastation on entire the western part of USA is going to get collapsed. What is the state that is present, which is the largest state, highly economical state that is present in the western part of USA? The so-called California state. Within the California state, there are very prominent cities, very prominent cities. One, California as such. Again, along with the California, there are two prominent cities. They will be outrightly ruled out. Means what? They will be washed out because of the devastation. What are the two very important cities? One is called as San Francisco. In the north, you can find the San Francisco. In the south, you can find Los Angeles, which is popularly called as LA. LA and SF. San Francisco, Los Angeles. Both they will be wiped out from the world map. When there is a triggering of the Yellowstone National Park. Clear? This is the importance of the fault line called as San Andreas. Probably you might have heard about this name San Andreas as a Hollywood movie. All those Hollywood movies are taken because of the factual information which is given by the US Department of Geological Survey, USGS. Got the point? See, even the movie like 2012 is also, though it may be a cooked up story, but some of the important themes are taken from the USGS, the assumptions given by the USGS department. Right? This is about the San Andreas fault line. Very, very important. This is regarding the national park, right? The national park, which is the world's #1, the first national park is Yellowstone National Park. Based on that concept, we in India, we started the national park called as Jim Corbett. Jim Corbett National Park. Within the Jim Corbett National Park, the name of the river that is flowing is called as Ram Ganga. Ram Ganga. Very, very important. You need to remember such type of, you need to compare like this. Don't simply understand the rivers. You might have read in the drainage system of India number of rivers. You will be seeing what is called as national parks, protected areas in ecology. What you need to do, you need to club both the things. And the questions can be asked like that only. They will be giving the name of the rivers on one side. They will be giving the national parks on the other side. You need to match. You need to club. Such type of questions. I'll give one other question. Like the next one, Kaziranga. Kaziranga National Park. Kaziranga National Park, where it is in the state of Assam. The very important river is called as Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra is the river. Such mighty rivers, you should be having an idea where they are flowing and which is the national park that is present there. Is it clear? You need to learn the process like this. I have given just 2 examples. It is your duty to see the atlas, try to identify the national park and see the river which is flowing through that one. If you can do that homework, entire concept becomes very easy. This is how you need to learn the subject. Don't simply mug up the things that are given by any material, not by any other institution or something. You need to have your own notes and you need to write all these things like this. This is the approach for the ecology. Right? This is the national park. Come on, let us see this one. Again, some of the differences. This is the objective. The objective of the national park is to protect. What? Everything. Whatever is given there, all you need to protect. But here, it's only viable population of the wildlife and their habitation are maintained. Say, the species like tiger. You need to check only the tiger that is present there. No need to bother about what is called as the other species like deers that are present there, wild buffaloes that are there, whatever may be whatever the species that is present there, need not to worry about all the species. You need to just take care of the species that has been mentioned under the definition of wildlife actually. Is it clear? Then restriction. This again very, very important point. What is the restriction in the wildlife sanctuary and what is the restriction in the national park? This you need to take care of. Very, very important. What is important point here is the restriction. Whenever you are talking about the restriction for whom? The restriction is for the people movement. When the man is freely entering, say the man is freely entering into the national park or freely entering into any protected area, then what will be protected? When the man itself, who is man? Such a fellow who can degrade entire environment there. When this fellow is allowed freely to move in and out, then what happens? He can find degradation, he can find destruction. The other day I was talking about the Himalayas. Which Himalayas are highly degraded? The Himachal Himalayas, Middle Himalayas. Why Middle Himalayas are highly degraded? Middle Himalayas are highly degraded because of the human accessibility. Had the human is not moving, definitely there is no degradation. Got the point? Therefore, what is important here is allowing of the people itself is a very important task. Let us not allow the people to enter into that one. Which of the following strategies? Which of the following strategies is not allowing the people 100%? There is no allowance at all. There is a strict restriction. Where? It is in the national parks. It is in the national parks where the strict allowance means what? Strict prohibition of the people is there in the national parks, not in the wildlife sanctuary. Restrictions are less. This is what the biggest mistake that is done here. Why the restriction is less? What is the concept of wildlife sanctuary? Just to protect the wildlife. Whatever the wildlife that is mentioned in the objective of this wildlife sanctuary. Like, when the government announces one area as a wildlife sanctuary, then it will be mentioning what are the animals needs to be taken care. And the people, the forest department people, whoever they are located there, they are allowed to check only that particular species. No need to take care of some other things. That is the biggest problem. And therefore the restrictions are less, the people are allowed and the animals only will be taken care here, but here it's not like that. Entire area is protected. Access to the people is not allowed. If at all you want to enter into the national park, you need to take permission. If the permission is denied, you will be treated as a trespasser and you will be arrested. Got the point? What is the recent development that took place because of the restriction criteria? Understand this one. Again, this is very important, current related news. What happened recently? Suppose if at all you are seeing India, if this is India, this is the state called as state of Kerala. This is the state called as state of Kerala. This is Kerala state, right? This is the state Karnataka. This is Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, this is Kerala, right? This is how the area is there. In the tri-junction here, exactly in the tri-junction between Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala, what happened? This area comes under the Nilagiri biosphere reserve. This area where the people, the protected area that is present here is called as Bandipur Tiger Reserve. Bandipur Tiger Reserve. The Bandipur Tiger Reserve comes under the state of Karnataka. From the Bandipur Tiger Reserve, there is a passage into the state of Kerala. If at all you are moving along the Bandipur Tiger Reserve, you will be entering into the state of Kerala, and the tiger reserve that is present in Kerala is called as Wayanad. W-A-Y-A-N-A-D. Wayanad Tiger Reserve. This is Wayanad. W-A-Y-A-N-A-D. Let me write neatly. This is Wayanad. W-A-Y-A-N-A-D. Wayanad Tiger Reserve. What happened recently? The Bandipur Tiger Reserve, from the Bandipur Tiger Reserve, when the people are moving into Wayanad Tiger Reserve, the people have discovered that in the night time, the vehicles which are moving on the national highway there, they are killing the tigers. As in the night time, the animals, the wild animals are very free to roam here and there. When the animals are freely roaming, now what happened? Because of the free movement of the animals, these people, the so-called tiger reserve maintenance people, they stopped Bandipur Tiger Reserve, one second, Bandipur to Wayanad. Let me show the one picture. National highway. National highway issue. Come on, let us see this one. What is the national highway issue that is present there? The national highway issue that is present here is the which passes through my what is called as Bandipur means what, from Karnataka into Wayanad. This is called as the national highway number 766. Let me show here like this. I am unable to show this one. One second. How can I show this one? I need to go to the home. Yes, here. Come on. Let me show here. So many are open. Okay. Now, Bandipur. You need to check all these things like this. Bandipur, Wayanad. Now you got what is called as the information. Like first of all, you don't know what is the issue. Now what I am doing, Bandipur, Wayanad, national highway issue. National highway issue. Come on, let us check this one. This is the one. Yes, see this one. You can see the news in the newspaper. Like if you click this one directly, what is the date? See the date. Year 2019. What happened? What happened here? Why not people are protesting permanent closure of the national highway through Bandipur Tiger Reserve? See, the issues are very, very important. Whenever one issue is there, you need to pay very great attention. Since you people are the beginners, you don't know where to focus and which part is very important to be given more attention. That's why I am showing this one, how to read these things, where to focus on. The moment once you are getting any information, you need to directly go to the news in the newspaper. If at all you are every day watching the newspaper, every day reading the newspaper, every day making note of the newspaper, is wonderful, no issue at all. For those people who miss some of the news, for those people who are not following the news regularly, for them what you need to do, directly type the issue and see the newspaper, especially the Indian Express or maybe the Times of India or maybe the Hindu newspaper, right? Now see this one. What is the issue? Because of allowing the people from the Bandipur Tiger Reserve, where this Bandipur Tiger Reserve of Karnataka. If at all you are entering from the Bandipur into Kerala, it is a tri-junction between the Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. From there you will be entering into Wayanad Tiger Reserve. What is happening in the night time, as the animals are moving very freely, even on the national highway they will be coming and they will be sleeping. Till now, what happened, because of the care taken by some of the government of the yesterday years of the Karnataka, where the Tiger Reserve was closed in the night time, no vehicle used to be allowed to pass through the Tiger Reserve during the night time. But in the wake of economic development, when the people are not supplying the goods and material through the national highway, the businesses are being hampered. In order to have the economical benefit, what the government of Karnataka decided to open the national highway even in the night time also. 24 hours opening of the national highway number 766. When this highway was opened, now what happened? Some of the tigers got killed, some of the elephants are being affected, some of the deers, antelopes are being affected. Because this one, now the people of Kerala, they are protesting. The people of Kerala, they started protesting and filed a case against the Karnataka government to close permanently the national highway which is passing from Bandipur to Kerala. This is what the question. Permanent closure of the national highway through Bandipur Tiger Reserve. This is in protest in Wayanad, after the Supreme Court asked the center for alternative would enable permanent closure of Kerala Karnataka highway. This is what the image. See this one. Entire information is given. You can see all these things. You can read some extra information. And this is the map. See this map. This is the Bandipur. This is the Kerala, Wayanad. This is the National Highway 766. Question can be asked like this. National Highway number 766 is in news recently. It is regarding A, B, C, D. What is the A, B, C, D? A, B, C, D, they will be giving the options like A, it is the Chardham Yatra between Kedarnath to Amarnath. Number 2, it is the national highway which is connecting from Srinagar to Kanyakumari. Third one, it is the national highway which is passing through Bandipur to Wayanad. Fourth one, it is a very important national highway of Andaman Nicobar where Supreme Court recently asked to shut down for the tourism. Likewise, 4 options will be given. You need to pick up the right option. See, when the information is known to you, the question appears to be very simple. If the information is not known to you, the question appears very difficult. Is it clear? This is what the news is. 766, you need to remember. This is what the issue of national highway in Kerala, Karnataka. On the similar lines, there are some other issue, might be in geography you might have come across. Like, what is the issue of the national highway that is present in Andaman Nicobar? I have given option A, B, C, D. Within D, within these 4 options, one of the option is the controversial statement, judgment given by the Supreme Court of India on Andaman Nicobar National Highway, the National Highway number 233. You need to know that one also. There will be close relations, like the national highway issues will be there, definitely, and they will be giving such a closely related information in the UPSC. Whoever will be reading only periphery, they get struck up in the confusion. Yes, that is our national highway, so there in the issue, this is also there in the as a issue. Then which is right? There UPSC will be catching you like anything. That's why don't read only the periphery, you need to read in a holistic manner. Clear? This is what this is Bandipur, Wayanad Tiger Reserve, Mudumalai. What is Mudumalai? Mudumalai again Tiger Reserve which comes under Tamil Nadu. See this one, this is Tamil Nadu, this is Kerala, this is Karnataka. This is what the tri-junction between, this is the city called as Wayanad. This is the national highway. The Supreme Court is asking to explore the alternative ways. See the alternative ways. Mysore, Manatamwadi, this is another area. This is via Nagarhole. Where is again Nagarhole? Nagarhole again is a tiger reserve which falls under again Karnataka. The boundary between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu is here, Nagarhole Tiger Reserve. This is the Nagarhole Tiger Reserve. Through this, if we go then you can enter into the again Kerala. There are different alternatives. All these areas comes under Nilagiri biosphere reserves. You should be very careful regarding where that particular protected area is there. What is the importance, that geographical location, which tiger reserve, which national park, which is there by the side. You should be having a good clarity. And one of the very great confusing protected areas is this Nilagiri biosphere reserve. And many news are there associated with this one. Clear? Where there is no protest, then you need to go through all these things. See, my job is to just focus you where you need to work on. Clear? Is it okay? This is the current related news where that may be dealt in your current affairs topics. Fine. This is about the Bandipur and all these things. Fine. Now, after this one. After this one, come on, let us see the things. Yes. This is about the national park, right? National park, the rivers which are flowing into this one. Then coming to the other PPT1 file, Yes. Now see here. Restriction. Public are not allowed here where the public is allowed there. Right? Now, permission. What is this official permission? Whenever you are talking about this particular movement of the people within this one, permission is not required. In order to enter into the wildlife sanctuary, there is no need to take any permission. The people can just walk in. There is no one going to question you if it is a wildlife sanctuary. But if it is a national park, the moment once you are entering, you will be asked, why are you entering? You are not supposed to enter. Is there any permission with you? If at all the permission is denied, if the permission is not given to you, there is no question of entry of the people. If anyone is entering by force, they will be called as the trespassers or the intruders, and they will be arrested immediately. Then boundaries, very important point. The boundary of the national park is exactly fixed by the legislation. It will be having a clear cut boundary, as if a line is being drawn. On the other side of the line there is no national park, but this side of the line, yes, everything area is being protected. This is the boundary is fixed by the legislation. It will be having a range. What is the range from here to there? There is no one line. Just like whenever you are talking about the frontier, frontier and boundary. See here I am comparing both the frontiers and the boundaries. What is the boundary? Suppose if this is one country, this is another country. What is that line that is separating both the countries? This is the line. This is called as the boundary line. But once upon a time, we do have certain frontiers. What are the frontiers? Like northwestern frontier, northeast frontier province, northwestern frontier province. These are some of the frontiers. What is the frontier? This is India, this is China. The land between these two is a frontier. It is having a range. No clear cut division. This land belongs to whom? This land belongs to whom? Neither this country nor this country. This is no man's land. That is the reason why there are certain boundary disputes between India and China. Got the point? Because of the frontier. Earlier there was a frontier between India and China, the northeast frontier province. This is the condition. But right now there is no frontier. The frontier gave way to the boundaries, and therefore the conflict is there. The maps of China shows that this particular region is a part and parcel of China. The maps of India shows that they are the part and parcel of India. Therefore there is some controversies there, and you can find the disputes. Got the point? Now, then after this one, official boundaries not fixed. The last point, very important point. What is the important point? IUCN status. IUCN, which is otherwise called as International Union for Conservation of Nature, this is the organization which is having giving certain status for the protected areas. What is the status that is given for national park? It is called as the category 2. National parks comes under the category 2, which are popularly called as C2 category. Whereas the wildlife sanctuaries is not given here. You can write this one. Wildlife sanctuaries are coming under category 4. Is not given here. Wildlife sanctuaries are given under category 4. Clear? This is what but not certain. IUCN status, it is the category 2 for the national park, whereas category 4 for wildlife sanctuary. Clear? This is about the national parks and the wildlife sanctuary. Then some of the very important national parks and the wildlife sanctuaries. Let us see some of the important parks and the wildlife sanctuaries. What are the important national parks and the wildlife sanctuaries? The first and foremost one, the Jim Corbett National Park, Uttarakhand. Jim Corbett National Park, Uttarakhand. The next one, Ranthambore National Park, Rajasthan. Make note of some of the important national parks. Ranthambore, very very important. What is the importance of this Ranthambore? Recently what happened? There was a big tigress, very huge tigress. Its name is Machli. The name of the tigress is Machli. Why the tigress is named as Machli? Because this is the tiger which saved herself from crocodile. When the tigress was moving in the water, one of the crocodile caught her leg, but it escaped successfully from the crocodile. In fact, it has killed the crocodile. That is what the story of this Machli tiger, and recently it died around some 2018 or somewhere. And right from then, India government started getting less revenue from the foreign exchange, from the tourism. Till that point of time, this particular tiger reserve was getting huge revenue. But right now the revenue for this Ranthambore got reduced. For every important national park, for every important region, some story will be there behind. Clear? This is what the Ranthambore. Then just now we are talking about the Bandipur Tiger Reserve, Bandipur National Park, present in the Karnataka. Nagarhole Tiger Reserve, Nagarhole National Park, Karnataka. Mudumalai National Park, Mudumalai Tiger Reserve, again Tamil Nadu. Wayanad Tiger Reserve, Wayanad National Park, present in Kerala. You need to know the areas, which national park is located in which area, right, in which state. This is about the one. Then the Kiladiyo Ghana National Park, very very important national park. In fact, once upon a time it was called as Bharatpur National Park. What do you mean by Bharatpur National Park? It is the national park which is present in the Bharatpur district of Rajasthan. It's called as the Kiladiyo Ghana National Park. This is the one. Then Sariskar National Park, again Rajasthan. Kaziranga National Park, Assam. Kanha National Park of National Park of Madhya Pradesh, again very important. What is the importance of this Kanha National Park? Recently, the government of India wants to introduce cheetahs into India. In which part of India where they want to introduce the cheetahs? It is in this national park. Therefore, this national park became very important. Where maybe in the recent past, where the people will be introducing this one again, in the recent time period where the cheetahs will be again introduced. Supreme Court of India also gave the order to go ahead for introduction of the cheetahs in India, right? From where the cheetahs are being translocated, the cheetahs are being translocated from the African regions, right? African area. This is the Kanha National Park. Then Sundarbans of West Bengal, the Gir National Park of Gujarat, then Dudhwa National Park of Uttar Pradesh, the Great Himalayan National Park of Himachal Pradesh. These are some of the very important national parks of India and the important areas. This is about the national park and the important national parks and the wildlife sanctuaries. Come on, let us see the wildlife sanctuaries. These are the important national parks. Then the wildlife sanctuaries. Let us talk about something regarding the wildlife sanctuaries. What are the wildlife sanctuaries that are present? What are the wildlife sanctuaries? The first and foremost, very important one called as Bhitarkanika Wildlife Sanctuary. Very, very important wildlife sanctuary, Bhitarkanika. Also, you can find what is called as the mangroves. Bhitarkanika mangroves, I have explained again. Then the Periyar Wildlife Sanctuary of Kerala. Bhadra Wildlife Sanctuary of Karnataka. Just make note of some of this one. Bhadra Wildlife Sanctuary, which is present in the Bhadra region. What is Bhadra? Bhadra is the name of a river. Bhadra. Sir, what is this river, sir? We never heard about the Bhadra river. Is it such a mighty river? Yes, it is a mighty river. In fact, you might have heard about the name of this Bhadra in a different connotation. You might be knowing this Bhadra river as Tungabhadra. What is this Bhadra? In fact, there are two rivers. One is called as Tunga and one is Bhadra. Suppose if this is Tunga, this is Bhadra. Both the rivers get united to form what is called as Tungabhadra. Both the rivers confluence to form the mighty river called as Tungabhadra river. This is about the Tungabhadra. Bhadra Wildlife Sanctuary Karnataka. Both they are present in Karnataka. Tunga, Bhadra. The moment once they get united, they flow into Andhra Pradesh. Right now they enter into Telangana and then into Andhra Pradesh, right? This is what? Means what? The Tungabhadra is a tributary for Krishna. In fact, it enters from Karnataka into Andhra Pradesh. From Karnataka into Andhra Pradesh. No relation to what is called as Telangana, right? I said Telangana, sorry for this one. From Karnataka, the river enters directly into Andhra Pradesh, right? This is the Tungabhadra river. This is Bhadra. Then Sasan Gir Wildlife Sanctuary of Gujarat, Chinnar Wildlife Sanctuary of Kerala, Indian Wild Ass, very, very important one. Indian Wild Ass Sanctuary, Gujarat again. Where this one? In the Kutch region. Then Mudumalai, Tamil Nadu. Then Parambikulam Wildlife Sanctuary again Kerala. All they are some of the very best examples for the national parks and the wildlife sanctuaries. Then after this one, biosphere reserve. Coming to, after understanding something regarding the national parks and the wildlife sanctuaries, let us start with what is called as the biosphere reserves. Come on, let us see the biosphere reserve. What you need to remember here is, when both the concepts are there, one national park, another one is wildlife sanctuary. Again, why the concept of biosphere reserve was brought into picture, that is very, very important. As I already explained you, where a very great care is taken in delineating the area into different zones. And what type of care was taken in delineation? So that the tribal habitations, see the tribal habitations. The tribal habitations definitely will come under the tertiaries, the zone called as the transition zone. The entire area, suppose if this is the entire area, it needs to be protected. It can be under national park or it can be under wildlife sanctuary, the people can protect. If you are announcing this as wildlife sanctuary, much care will not be taken. We can't emphasize much rules and regulations there. Only one particular species needs to be protected. If you announce that as a national park, all the tribal people who are living from times immemorial needs to be kicked out. When the people are naked out, then the agitation will be there. When the people are naked out from the original habitation, the agitation will be there on a great scale, and then because of people displacement, the people feel animal as a enemy, and the hunters turns poachers. See the statement. Hunters turns poachers. Hunters turn poachers. What do you mean by hunting and what is poaching? Just see the difference. Hunting is different from poaching. Question can be asked like this. Hunters turned poachers. Explain how to avoid this situation if this is the question. In order to turning hunters into poachers, the government has to take certain steps. What are the steps taken by the government? If this is a question, for such type of question, first of all, you should be knowing what do you mean by hunting and what do you mean by poaching. If you don't know what is hunting and what is poaching, you are simply unaware of what to write in the exam. What is hunting and what is poaching? This is a very important important step. Come on, what is hunting and what is poaching? Come on, you please respond. Though I am right now unable to see that one on the screen, but though it is a one, come on, respond. You keep on responding. What is the hunting and what is poaching? Try to know the difference between the small things. See, I am keep on telling this statement. If you can take care the minor things, if you can take care of the minor entities, the larger things will automatically will be taken care. Is that clear? Is it okay? Now, after giving this one, come on. After giving this one, what was I explaining? Hunters turning poachers. Come on, hunters when they can turn as poachers, provided when the government asks the people to go out of that area. When the government asks the people to get out of that area, these people, they develop a sort of enmity against the animals, and then they turn into poachers instead of hunters. Hunting is for the sake of some purpose, maybe for the food, maybe for some survival. Whereas poaching is for economic purpose. Maybe that animal can be sold out to some other area and they can get money and they can enjoy the life in a luxurious way. This is what the difference between the hunting and the poaching. Poaching is for other purpose, for luxury purposes. Hunting is for basic requirements. Right? This is the basic difference between hunting and poaching. When the hunters can turn into poachers, when they are naked out from their habitation, then they developed a sort of grudge against the animals. Clear? In order to avoid such type of conditions, now the government has brought, under the United Nations, it has brought a concept called as biosphere reserve under the program called as MAB program, Man and Biosphere. Under the program called as Man and Biosphere, now it has brought the concept introducing the protection area concept along with the protection of the tribal habitation. How to take care of the tribals? By drawing the zones in such a fashion where the people should be coming under the transition zone. When the people are there in the transition zone, what is this name? The name itself is a transition, so that the people can have a free movement. This is a free movement that people can. But whereas in the core area, see this one, the core area, this is the core area. This is the core area. The core areas are completely undisturbed in nature. They are the undisturbed area where there is no interference of the people at all. There is no question of allowing any person in that region. The next region in between is called as buffer. As the name itself shows that it is a buffer area. Limited restriction for the people. Now see here, one of the most common form of the conservation management is the UNESCO's biosphere reserve model, where the zoning will be done in such a way that in the core area only few core ecological areas where the economic development such as ecotourism and managing hunting or logging is being reserved there. Then educating local people to conserve the resources for future generation as important. Simply in one statement, in the core area, the educational research, whenever you want to study some genetical resources, means what? Those species which are not available in every area, where there needs to be studied For such a research purpose alone, the people will be allowed. By the time it is 1 hour, 2 hours, within 3 hours, again they need to come back. They are not allowed to stay for a prolonged time period there. Whereas the next zone, buffer areas, the people can be allowed for again some education purposes, to collect some of the products there. But in the transition, yes, you can find the people living here. See here, this is the core, dark green, then buffer, light green, transition, this is a yellowish color, the settlements, where you can find even economic development. This is the economic development. Economic developments like maybe some resorts, maybe some small hotels, resorts, ecotourism centers. This is the ecotourism center. Like maybe you can find a small lake in that one you can allow the people to take bath, maybe at the health tourism. Then education purpose, see the education is having a overlapping between the core and the buffer, transition and the buffer, education. But whereas research can be allowed. Education is different from research. What is this research? Research is the one where the people are allowed to discover something, to invent something new there. Whereas education, already the knowledge that is there, in order to demonstrate that knowledge, where the people will be allowed there. That is what the educational tours, right? This is about the core, buffer and the transition zone. See, these are the one. Biosphere reserve. What is a biosphere reserve? Come on, let us see this one. Biosphere reserve is simply the home of all known life that has ever existed in the entire universe. In early 70s, United Nations established a project called Man and the Biosphere Program, which is popularly called as MAB, which promotes sustainable development. The first biosphere reserve, see this one, the first and foremost biosphere reserve. This is again very important. We were talking about the first national park, right? The first national park is the Yellowstone National Park of America. What is the first national park of India? It is Jim Corbett. This is what we discussed. Whereas the first biosphere reserve of the world, which is the first biosphere reserve of the world? It is Yengambi. Very, very important. Yengambi Biosphere Reserve, which is located in the Democratic Republic of Congo. When it comes to India, which is the first biosphere reserve of India? It is the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Could you understand? Indian first national park, Jim Corbett. First biosphere reserve is Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. This is about the biosphere reserve of India, Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Whereas the first biosphere reserve of the world in Gambia of Democratic Republic of Congo. Then functions. What are the functions? Come on, write down as it is the functions of biosphere reserve. Come on, make note of this one. Come on, take down the notes. You are writing as biosphere reserves. Under the UNESCO's Man and Biosphere Program, under UNESCO's Man and Biosphere Program, biosphere reserves were introduced in the world countries. Biosphere reserves are introduced in the world countries. Biosphere reserves are introduced in the world country. The first such biosphere reserve is Yengambi Biosphere Reserve of Democratic Republic of Congo. Democratic Republic of Congo. Whereas in India, Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is the first biosphere reserve. Citing functions of biosphere reserve. Functions of biosphere reserve. Functions of biosphere reserve. What are the functions? The first one, conservation function. Conservation function. Come on, write down something. Conservation function. First of all, siding conservation function. Under this one, biosphere reserve will conserve. This point is very important. I am not dictating what is given in the PPT. Come on, write down. Biosphere reserve conserves the genetic resources, capital letters, all capital letters. Genetic resource is a very, very important key term. Underline this one, write down in the capital letters. It conserves the genetic resource. You will come to know the importance of the genetic resources in the Convention on Biodiversity. Write down in a capital letters genetic resource, GR. The very important function of biosphere reserve is to conserve the genetic resource along with the conservation of landscape, ecosystem and variety of species. The next one, supporting function. Biosphere reserve supports the scientific research and analysis. It supports the scientific research and analysis. Full stop. It analyzes the issues of sustainable development. It helps the young researchers to develop new strains of breeds. Then economic functions. Third heading, economic functions. It promotes the economic and human development. It promotes the economic and human development which is ecologically, socio-culturally sustainable. Socio-culturally sustainable. Come on. Siding. Zones of biosphere. Zones, ZONES, zones of biosphere reserve. Biosphere is divided into three zones. Biosphere is divided into three zones. One, core. Two, buffer zone. Core zone number 1. 2, buffer zone. 3, transition zone. Core zone. Side heading, core zone. It is completely undisturbed area. It is completely undisturbed area. It is completely undisturbed area. No human activities are allowed. No human activities are allowed. Comma, the forest officials and the research people can just monitor. The forest officials and the research people can just monitor and collect some specimens. Collect some specimens for the research. Collect some specimens for the research activities. Next side heading, buffer zone. Next side heading, buffer zone. Limited human actions like monitoring, research and training, research and training, and education with monitoring, research and training, and education with sound ecological principles are carried out. Educational with sound ecological principles are carried out. Education with sound ecological principles are carried out. Full stop. Tribal settlements are not allowed. Tribal settlements are not allowed. Tribal settlements are not allowed. However, the tribals interact in this zone. Tribals interact in this zone with the help of forest officials. The last one, transition zone. What is the transition zone? This is the outermost zone of biosphere reserve. This is the outermost zone of the biosphere reserve. Human activities are allowed here. Human activities are allowed here. Human activities are allowed here to promote economic and social development. To promote economic and social development. To promote economic and social development in an sustainable manner. In an sustainable manner. In an sustainable manner. Here, this is about the three zones of biosphere reserve. There are the three zones of biosphere reserve. After this one, so what you need to do, don't follow any material. Don't simply see the material nor even the PPT that is given. What you need to have a very good reference should be the internet. Again, I am telling you, internet should be extensively utilized for the current related news. But how to refer, how to see, what needs to be referred. In the earlier classes itself, in the beginning of the session itself, I have given that there are certain portals where that is WIINVIS. This is what I have given. ENVIS, Environmental Information System, all the important results, sites, all they are, whatever the current related development that comes up to date, they will be enlisting in this one. You don't refer any textbook that is available in the market for such type of current related news. You need to always check the portal. Keep on referring the portal. When any news comes there, that will be immediately updated in this portal. After updating the portal only, the people will be releasing to the news. Let me show this one. Come on, let me show this one. Go to the browser, come on. It is WIIENVIS. What we want right now? We want right now what is called as biosphere reserve, right? See the biosphere reserve. ENVIS space biosphere, biosphere reserves. Whatever you want, you just type on this one and click this one. The page automatically takes you to this particular ENVIS biosphere reserve. What is happening? ENVIS biosphere or VES reserves. What is happening here? Maybe some problem is there, but if at all you are typing this one, simply the biosphere reserve, ENVIS biosphere reserve, you can get the information. You have to get the information. Some problem is there here. It's not the problem of the site. Something is there. What is happening here? Okay, maybe you check this one. Definitely it will be working. You just go for ENVIS biospheres. You will get all the list of biospheres. How it will be? Let me show this one. This is the one. It will be showing like this. In fact, I have copied this picture from the same thing, from the same portal. If you go to that particular ENVIS, it will be displaying the picture like this. I have copied that one and I have pasted here in the PPT, right? The portal is very important. You can check all the latest updates. Come on. What is the importance of this one? Come on, right now, let us talk about the biosphere reserves that are present in India. The government of India has announced some protected areas as the biosphere reserves. Pay attention, very important. How many biosphere reserves are there in India according to Indian government and according to UNESCO? Means what? Once the government of India announces one protected area as a biosphere reserve, then the UNESCO, the world, the United Nations organization, what it will be doing under this branch called as UNESCO, it will be again checking, seeing the criteria, after selecting, after seeing the number of flora, fauna, after seeing all the things, and it will be announcing this as a World Heritage Center, like World Biosphere Center. Altogether, as of now, the government of India has announced 18 biosphere reserves. The government of India, according to Indian government, according to India, there are 18 biosphere reserves. India has selected 18 such areas where there is a rich biological diversity and where you can find the greater genetic resource. A very great genetic resource can be found there in that locality. And according to government, there are 18 such biosphere reserves. Till 2020, pay attention, very very important, till 2020, UNESCO has identified only 11 biosphere reserves, but in the year 2020, one new biosphere reserve was identified by UNESCO. When? During the lockdown time period, during the pandemic time period, UNESCO has updated one particular Indian biodiversity as the world's important biodiversity center. When it has announced this Indian biosphere reserve as a world biosphere reserve, definitely this can be a question for you in the preliminary part this year. What is the name of that particular newly added biosphere reserve in the world biosphere reserve? That you need to be pay attention. Is it clear? What is important is what type of latest developments are there. How the world countries under the United Nations program, UNESCO, what happens? It will be keep on announcing some of the biosphere reserve. First, the respective countries have to decide which areas are having rich biodiversities. After those respective countries have selected some of the biosphere reserves, now it is UNESCO, it will be checking whether these people have selected the right sites or not. Out of those selected sites of the respective countries, UNESCO will be again picking up some of the sites. In that process, till 2020, there were just only 11 such sites picked by UNESCO. In the year 2020, it has picked a new site which is considered to be the 12th UNESCO's biosphere reserve. Let me give in an order. Write down first of all the 12 UNESCO's biosphere reserves. Come on, give the thing as 12 biosphere reserves of UNESCO. Means what? UNESCO has identified 12 biosphere reserves of India. Come on, write down. First of all, write down all the 12 biosphere reserves of India which are identified by UNESCO. First of all, let me give all the 12 UNESCO identified biosphere reserves, then we'll go to the remaining biosphere reserves identified by the Indian government. Come on. The first one, heading as 12 biosphere reserves. Identified by UNESCO out of 12 out of 18. Come on, write on there itself, 12 out of 18. or identified by UNESCO. What are those UNESCO identified centers? Write down in the form of a table, like same number, serial number, name of the biosphere reserve, what are the areas that are included here, like this. The areas are very important. Earlier in UPSC, how the questions were asked? The questions were asked just like where is that biosphere reserve, in which state it is located. This was the trend that was maintained by UPSC till 2012. But right from 2017, see this one, the trend has completely changed from 2017. Right from 2017, what happened? The trend was to the micro level. Up to 2012, very broad level, the broad level of asking the question. Right from 2017, in between 2012 to 17, the medium trend was there. Like if I give the broad sense, medium and the micro level. See the micro level question, medium level question and the broad level question. Earlier the question was asked something like this, like Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve stretches in which of the following states? In which of the following states? Like they will be giving the states like 1, 2, 3, 4, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. A 1, 2, 3, 4, B 2, 3, 4, C 1, 3, 4, D 1, 1, 2, 4. This was the question which was asked till 2012. Very broad. Means what? Very broad means what? Nilgiri Biosphere, which state? Only state was asked. Right from 2012 to 2017, what was the question? For this one, what is the answer? Nilgiri Biosphere is there in the Karnataka, it is there in the Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Therefore, the answer should be 2, 3, 4. This is the answer for the broad type of question which was the trend 2000 till 2012. Then comes to the next one. What is the next one? The next trend was medium between 2012 to 2017. The question was Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats are getting connected in which part of the Nilgiris? Which part of what is one? Which part of in which mountains? Not which part. 1 second. The Nilgiris is the answer. Eastern Ghats and the Western Ghats are connected through which ranges? The answer should be Nilgiris. The answer should be Nilgiris. Means what? Which is the connecting mountain range between the Eastern Ghats and the Western Ghats? This is the question. When it is between 2012 to 2017. Medium. Means what? The entire Nilgiris was the answer. Was the answer. What is the answer? Nilgiri mountains or Nilgiri's biosphere reserve is the answer. Which is the connecting junction between the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. Now the question. See the question. What type of questions are asked? Right from 2012, 2017, the questions were asked the micro level. What was the question that was asked regarding Nilgiris? Earlier, Nilgiris is present in which states? Broader. Medium. Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats are connected with which mountains? Nilgiris is the answer. States came to mountains. Area. Now, after 2017, the question was asked like Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats are meeting in the Nilgiri mountains. In which part specifically? Means what? The question was like this. Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats are meeting in which of the following areas of Nilgiris? And they have given Silent Valley, Siruvani Hills, Nagarhole, Bandipur and Mudumalai region. The question was asked like this. Even the area like Satyamangali, Satyamangali forest. Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats are meeting in which of the following regions of Nilgiris? This is the question. Could you able to understand the micro level of asking the question? Knowing just where the particular Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is located in which state is not sufficient right now. Knowing just the Nilgiri reserves where it is, Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve up to what extent it is extended is not sufficient right now. Going to specific parts of Nilgiris. In which part of Nilgiri, which important and unique factor is happening there? Which important location is there? Which important species is located there? In the unique regions. This is what the question that is asked right now. This is the trend. The trend has completely changed. Therefore, just knowing the information in the peripheral manner never suffice for the preparation. Clear? Now, come on, write down all these things. Make note of all these things. Give the heading as 12 important biosphere reserves identified by UNESCO. You will be coming to all these things. Come on. 12 important biosphere reserves identified by the UNESCO. Number 1. Write down this one. I am showing all the areas. You keep on writing along with the location where these sites are located. Number 1. The first and foremost, Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Maintain the table. What should be there in the table? Serial number, name of the Biosphere Reserve, year in which it announced, year in which it is announced by the UNESCO as a International Biosphere Reserve, year in which it is announced as a International Biosphere Reserve. Then what are the important parts it is included? What are the important parts it has included? Come on, write down. Number 1, Nilgiris. Announced in the year 2000. See here in our PPT, the date of notification was given as 1986. Means what? In the year 1986, the government of India has announced. But by UNESCO, it is 2000. Got the point? By UNESCO, UNESCO identified this one in the year 2000. What are the parts? All the important areas. The areas are very important. Come on, make note of the areas. Wayanad. 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 Nagarhole. Just now have shown in the map while discussing the National Highway number 766. Wayanad, Nagarhole, Bandipur, Mudumalai. Write down as it is, whatever is displayed on the board. Wayanad, Nagarhole, Bandipur, Mudumalai, Neelambur, Silent Valley, Siruvani Hills. Siruvani Hills. These are the important areas under 3 states, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. This is the first part. The first UNESCO's identified biosphere reserve, which is located in India. The first one is Nilgiris. Come on, the second one, Gulf of Mannar. The second one, Gulf of Mannar, announced in the year 2001. Located in the state of Tamil Nadu, in between India and Sri Lanka. It is given there. It is there on the slide. Come and check this one. In between India and Sri Lanka, Gulf of Mannar. How comes it is a biosphere reserve? This is a biosphere reserve because of very great ecological conditions that are prevailing there. What are the ecological conditions that are prevailing in the Gulf of Mannar region? You can find a very important ecologically rich area called as the Adams Bridge area. The Adams Bridge area, probably in the marine landforms. In geography, you came across marine landforms, right? The marine landforms like capes, bays, stacks, stumps, silt, bar, tombolo. Got the point? Did you recollect? The important marine landforms. What are the marine landforms you came across in geography? Like bars, BARS bars, spits, 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 tombolo, TOMBOLO, tombolo. Also you come across capes, bays, stacks, 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 stumps, STUMPs. All these are the very important marine landforms, right? One of such a marine landform is Adams Bridge, which is in a submerged condition, submerged between India and Sri Lanka. This region is a rich, very rich biological diversity area. The important species that is present here is dugong. What is this one? See, again I am showing this one. Come on, check this one. Suppose if this is India, this is Sri Lanka. This is the Adams Bridge. If this is Sri Lanka like this, okay, something like this. If something like this, it is okay, something like this here. This is what called as the Adams Bridge. The very eminent personality like our transportation minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, has tried a lot to bring the waterway like this. Suppose if at all this is India, from Bombay, whenever you want to move to Vizag or Calcutta, you have to go like this, circumferencing entire Sri Lanka, which is loss of time, loss of fuel. Then Nitin Gadkari has proposed a route right from here. He wants to take the vehicle through the Gulf of Mannar like this. Whenever you are going to have the route along the coast of India, then you will be saving the time. Not only time, even the fuel can be saved. Not encompassing entire Sri Lanka. He has planned this route and he started drawing this one. He wants the vessels to move in this one, but the ecologists didn't accept this one. There is a concept called as EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment, where the route, whenever the vessels needs to move here, certain depths needs to be maintained. The depth here is very shallow. You can see this one even from the satellite imaginary picture. Because the shallow depths, the bridge is very much clearly visible. As it is having a very great traditional linkages, when the Dredging Corporation of India, there is a department called as, the corporation called as Dredging Corporation of India. What is this Dredging Corporation of India? It will be creating the depths for the naval movement. When the corporation proposed to dredge this one, there was a hue and cry. Whenever you are removing this one, what is being removed? Our Ram bridge, the bridge constructed by the Rama Setu, which is constructed by Lord Rama, will be removed. Therefore, the one is the religious conscious, the other one is the ecological constraint. What is the ecological constraint? If at all you are removing this one, this is the area which is having a very great ecological rich area. You can find here the animals like dugong, a very important species called as dugong. This is a sea cow. We came across this dugong in what is called as the concept we were discussing is called as keystone species. When we are discussing the keystone species, we discussed about this dugong, right? Could able to recollect that one? I'm very sorry, I can't see the prompter. Whatever the response portal you are responding, I am unable to see the response portal. Yet there is no issue. If at all you are having any query, you post the query to our coordinator. In turn, I will be getting the question. But response, I am unable to see this one. Okay, this is the constraint for this one. If I want to see the response, I need to cancel the class and I need to take the class only when there is complete opening of all the businesses, right? At least this is better, I think. That's why though there is no response portal, still you can interact with me. How you can interact with me? By posing the question to the coordinator, right? Now, already we have discussed this one in the concept of keystone species. The name of the species is called as dugong, right? Dugong is a very important species here you can find in this area. This is the one, the Gulf of Mannar. Come on, the next one. After the second one, after the Gulf of Mannar, then the third one. Which is the third one is called as Sundarbans. Let us see Sundarbans. Sundarbans, come on, write down Sundarbans. When it was announced as a UNESCO's Heritage Center, come on, write down Sundarbans. Third one, in the year 2001, UNESCO has identified this as the world's important biosphere reserve in the year 2001, which is located in the West Bengal. It includes the parts of delta of Ganga and Brahmaputra. In fact, this is the delta of Ganga, Brahmaputra and Meghna. Parts of the delta of Ganga, Brahmaputra and Meghna. Write down Meghna also. Meghana. Ganga, Brahmaputra and Meghna. This is the third one. Fourth one. See the fourth one. Nanda Devi. Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve. Come on, write down. Fourth one. Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve. Announced in the year 2004. Announced in the year 2004 by UNESCO. It is a UNESCO's World Heritage Biosphere Reserve. Nanda Devi, located in these three districts, are very, very important. It is there in the state of Uttarakhand, and the districts, see the districts. The districts like Chamoli, Pithodgarh, Bageshwar. Chamoli, Pithodgarh, Bageshwar district. They are given on the slide. You please make note of this one. Don't simply listen and leave this one. You need to write. Come on, write down. Chamoli, Pithodgarh, Bageshwar, districts of Uttarakhand. Then fifth one, Simlipal Biosphere Reserve. Simlipal, Simlipal, Simlipal. It is there on the screen. Come on. Simlipal Biosphere Reserve. Announced in the year 2009. Announced by UNESCO in the year 2009. Located in Mayurbhanj district of Odisha. In the Indian geography, especially in the concept of minerals, you might have come across this Mayurbhanj. What is this Mayurbhanj? It's a very important place of Chotanagpur region. Mayurbhanj, a rich mineral belt. Which mineral is located, is available there? It is iron. Iron is available in a great scale. Mayurbhanj, district of Odisha. Nothing but the biosphere reserve is Simlipal. Then, after the fifth one, sixth one, Pachmarhi. It is there on the board. Pachmarhi, P-A-C-H-M-A-R-H-I, Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve. Announced by UNESCO in the year 2009. Located in Madhya Pradesh. The districts of Betul, Hoshangabad, Chhindwara. Betul, Hoshangabad and Chhindwara. Betul, Hoshangabad and Chhindwara. These are the three very important districts of Madhya Pradesh. Then seventh one, Nokrek. Nokrek Biosphere Reserve. Very important biosphere reserve. Nokrek Biosphere Reserve. Announced in the year 2009 as a World Biosphere Center by UNESCO. Announced in the year 2009 by UNESCO as a World Heritage Biosphere Center. Located in the Garo Hills of Meghalaya. Garo Hills of Meghalaya. Then the eighth one. The eighth one is called as Achanak Mar, Amarkantak. It is there on the board, number 14. Achanak Mar, Amarkantak. The eighth UNESCO's Biosphere Reserve is Achanak Mar, Amarkantak Biosphere Reserve. Located in between Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. Announced by UNESCO in the year 2012. UNESCO identified this one as the World Biosphere Center in the year 2012. 2012. It includes the parts of Anuppur and Dindori districts of Madhya Pradesh. In Madhya Pradesh, the two districts like Anuppur and Dindori district of Madhya Pradesh. Also, in the Chhattisgarh, the district like Bilaspur, the Bilaspur district of Chhattisgarh. Bilaspur district of Chhattisgarh. These are the three districts that includes Amarkantak and Achanakmar. After the eighth one, ninth one. The ninth Biosphere Reserve announced by UNESCO. Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve. Come on, write down. Great Nicobar. Is there on the board? Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve. Great Nicobar. Announced in the year 2013. UNESCO identified this one in the year 2013. It includes the areas of southernmost parts of Andaman Nicobar. Southernmost parts of Andaman Nicobar. What is there in the southernmost part of Andaman Nicobar? It is Nicobar Islands. The Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve. Very important biosphere area. In fact, it is having a rich biodiversity area. And so the government of India announced, after the announcing as a biosphere reserve by the government of India, then the UNESCO has identified this one. Great Nicobar. Then the 10th one. 10th one is Agastya Malai. 10th one is Agastya Malai Biosphere Reserve. Is there on the board? 10th one is there called as Agastya Malai Biosphere Reserve, which is located in the Neyar, Peppara, Shendurni wildlife sanctuaries of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Announced as a World Biosphere Reserve by UNESCO in the year 2016. In the year 2016, when UNESCO has announced this one in the year 2016. Right? In the year 2016, UNESCO has announced this one as a World Biosphere Reserve. Where it is located? Along the boundary of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Neyar. What is this Neyar? Neyar is a river. Peppara is a region along the boundary area. Then Shendurni, a very important area, Shendurni. The other day I was talking about Myristica swamps. Do you remember? The other day while discussing the mangroves of India, we are talking about the Myristica swamps. Myristica, Myristica swamps. These Myristica swamps are there in the Shendurni wildlife sanctuaries. The Shendurni wildlife sanctuary is a very important region. Right? Shendurni. These areas falls as a common boundary between Tamil Nadu and Kerala. This is Agastya Malai. Then 11th one. After 10th, 11th one. Come on, 11th. Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve. Kanchenjunga. Announced by UNESCO as a World Biosphere Reserve in the year 2018. 2016 is Agastya Malai, 2018 is Kanchenjunga. Kanchenjunga was the 11th one. How many are there? 12 are there. 12th one happens to be in 2020. 11th one is in the year 2018. Kanchenjunga. Where it is located? In the state of Sikkim, and the hills are called as Kanchenjunga Hills. Kanchenjunga Hills. Then write down the 12th one. Come on. The 12th World Biosphere Reserve located in India, announced by UNESCO. Come on. The 12th one. 12th one is Panna Biosphere Reserve. It is there on the board. Panna Biosphere Reserve. This is the latest biosphere reserve announced by UNESCO as the World Biosphere Reserve in the year 2020. So, with the inclusion of Panna Biosphere Reserve, the list of biosphere reserves identified by UNESCO in India reached 12. When this is the latest announcement, this can be a question for you in the preliminary part. And what is other news regarding the Panna Biosphere Reserve? The other thing regarding Panna is, see, this is the Panna Biosphere Reserve. This is a Panna Biosphere Reserve. This is Panna. What is the important other thing that is the current related development regarding the Panna Biosphere Reserve? There is a interlinking river project. Interlinking river project. Interlinking of the rivers. There are two rivers between Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. These two states started a program jointly. Joint venture. It is a joint program of Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. The two rivers are Ken River and Betwa River. Ken and Betwa. The Ken River and the Betwa River needs to be interconnected. Let us see this one. Suppose if this is the Ken River. This is the mighty river called as Yamuna. This is Yamuna. Yamuna, which is a tributary of Ganga, the mighty tributary of Ganga. This is the river called as Ken River. This is the river Betwa. Ken River, Betwa River. These are the two tributaries for mighty river Yamuna. Where do you find surplus water? Whenever we need to interconnect two rivers, one river should be having the excess water, another river should be having deficit water. Right? One river should be having excess, another one should be having deficit water. In these two cases, which is having the excess water? The Ken is the one having more water. Betwa is having less water. 3/4 of the Ken River lying in the Uttar Pradesh. 3/4 of the one which is lying in the Madhya Pradesh. Therefore, the two river states came to agreement. Let us control the floods there, let us control the droughts there. How? By connecting a canal. like this. A man-made canal. Whenever a man-made canal is constructed, the surplus water can be sent into the Betwa. This is what the plan. But what came as the biggest problem? The problem is this area. What is this area? This is Panna Biosphere Reserve. This is Panna Biosphere Reserve. Could understand now the biggest problem? When area is announced as a biosphere reserve, what it will be having? It will be having core area. People will never allowed to keep their step on the core area. How comes a canal is allowed to enter into the core area? Whenever you are digging the land, what you are losing? Ecology of the area is completely lost forever. Therefore, ecologist came into picture. Ecologist came into picture. What is the concept? EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment. Ecologists didn't give the permission. Then they are forced to redraw the design. What should be the design? The design should be something like this. The design should be something like this. What should be the design? For redrawing the design, the area, the canal needs to be taking in a U-turn. It should be taking a U-turn. When it has to take a U-turn, what happens to the cost? Cost shoots up. Therefore, the program was halted for more than a decade. Recently, very recently in the year 2019, again the program started moving ahead because of the permission given by the EIA, like the Ministry of Environment, Forest and the Climate Change. Even though the project was redesigned, some of the lands of Panna were lost. As a compensation, the governments of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh has given double the land of what Panna Biosphere Reserve has lost. By seeing the commitment of the government of India in order to protect the ecology at the cost of economy. See the commitment here, see the wordings here. In order to protect ecology at the cost of economic development, as the government of India didn't give the permission for this project, for saving the ecology of this region, now UNESCO got impressed and started giving very great importance for this biosphere reserve by announcing this as a world biosphere reserve. This is what the criteria that is followed. Not just having the biosphere in that biodiversity in that area, not just having biodiversity in that area is important. Not just having biodiversity in that area is important. Also, what is important here is the commitment of the government to protect that particular area. That is the reason Panna was announced as a biosphere reserve in the recent past. Is it clear? Let me give the remaining things and we'll take a small break. Let me talk about some other things. Come on. After 12, continue. Give a line there. 13th one. 13th biosphere reserve. Come on. After 12 biosphere reserves, 13th. 13 biosphere reserves. 13th one. Give the heading as 13th one. 13th one, Manas. Come on, write down Manas. It's there on the board. Manas Biosphere Reserve. Manas Biosphere Reserve, located in the state of Assam. Which part of Assam? Simply knowing Assam doesn't serve the purpose. Which part of Assam? Kokrajhar, Bongaigaon, Barpeta, Nalbari, Kamrup, Darang. Nothing but all they are the lower Assam districts. All they come under the lower Assam. might be in your Great Northern Plains in the physiographic features of India. In the physiographic features of India, you might have come across Assam Plains. The Great Northern Plains, the plains are called as the last one, fourth division, called as Assam Plains, right? In the Assam Plains, there are two types. One is Upper Assam Plains and the Lower Assam Plains. Lower Assam Plains. What are the Lower Assam Plains? It includes the district like Kokrajhar, Bongaigaon, Barpeta, Nalbari, Kamrup, Darang. These are the areas. All they comes under the Manas Biosphere Reserve. Then, after the Manas Biosphere Reserve, 14th one, Dibru Saikova. Write down Dibru Saikova is there on the board. Dibru Saikhowa. Dibru Saikova. Dibru Saikova. Again it is there in the Assam. This Dibru Saikova is there related to Upper Assam. This is not the Lower Assam. It is Upper Assam project. The parts of Dibrugarh and Tinsukia. Right? Dibrugarh and Tinsukia. After this 18 biosphere reserve, we will go for a small break. Okay? No need to worry. I can understand your mindset. Come on. Dibru Saikova is done with. After this one, Dihang Dibang. It is there on the board. Dehang Dibang. Dihang Dibang. Dihang Dibang Biosphere Reserve is there in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. It includes the valleys like Siang Valley and Dibang Valley. Very, very important. Siang and Dibang Valley. Siang Valley, Dibang Valley. Then the 16th one, Kutch Biosphere Reserve. Kutch is there on the board. Kutch Biosphere Reserve, come on. Kutch Biosphere Reserve in the state of Gujarat. Part of Kutch, Rajkot, Surendranagar, Patan, civil district of Gujarat. Patan, civil districts of Gujarat state. Part of Kutch, Rajkot, Surendranagar and Patan civil district of Gujarat state. After Kutch, then cold desert of India. Cold desert. When we say cold desert, we feel like, Ladakh area, this is the one. But it includes even the Himachal Pradesh. Come on. A very, very important one. Cold desert, Himachal Pradesh. Come on. See the point here. It is the Himachal Pradesh. And the areas are very, very important because these areas are even present in the Ramsar Convention also as a wetland. See the areas. One is the Pin Valley region. Very, very important. The name of this one is called as Pin National Park. This can be asked directly as a question. Pin National Park is a very important national park located in which of the following biosphere reserve? It is the cold desert biosphere reserve. Where it is? Himachal Pradesh. Then Chandratal. Very, very important again. Chandratal. What is Tal? Tal is nothing but lake. It's called as Chandratal. Chandratal is a very important one. Again, it's part of cold desert in Himachal Pradesh. Then Sarchu Kibber Wildlife Sanctuary. Kibber Wildlife Sanctuary, which is there in Himachal Pradesh, right? Sarchu and Kibber. After this cold desert national park, 18th one, the last one, Seshachal Biosphere Reserve. Very, very important. The last one to add by the government of India is the Seshachal Biosphere Reserve. Seshachal Biosphere Reserve, come on. Seshachal Biosphere Reserve announced by government of India in the year 2010. Where it is located? It is there in the state of Andhra Pradesh. It is there in the state of Andhra Pradesh. It includes the district like Kadapa and Chittor. It includes the state of, it is located in the state of Andhra Pradesh, includes the districts like Kadapa and Chittor. What is the importance? You can find a very great sacred place and the pious place, a very, very sacred place. It's called as Lord Balaji Mandir. Lord Balaji Mandir, which is called as Tirumala, Tirupati, Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam. City of seven hills, a wonderful, pious and a very sacred place is the Sheshashal Biosphere Reserve. This is the 18th one. These are all the biosphere reserves of India. 12 are announced by UNESCO and the remaining are yet to be announced. When they will be announced, we don't know, but as of now, there are 12 biosphere reserves. Here we will take a small break, and again the remaining, how much time is left over, just another 15-20 minutes are there. We will be continuing after 5 minutes, the remaining things we will be seeing, right? Since a new mode of operation, I am taking little bit time for my settlement. I have taken somewhat an extensive session without break. Yes, I can understand you people are young and low patience, but you need to increase your patience level. I will be keep on increasing my time level. There will be a point where we will be reaching without any gap, will be coming up to the 3 hours of session, like without breaking. No, I'm just kidding, okay? We will be giving the break definitely, but today I didn't give the break. But right now go for a break of 5 minutes. After 5 minutes we will be coming back again, we will be seeing the new topic, right? Yes, welcome back. After the biosphere reserve, let us talk something regarding the other thing called as IUCN. Come on, let us move to the next very important organization where you people are eagerly waiting for this particular organization. Many times in UPSC, IUCN is a question. Why IUCN is so important? What is the importance? What is that international body? Is it a government body or is it a private sector? Is it a NGO? What it is in fact? What is the structure of this organization? If at all you want to see all these things, you need to enter into what is called as the IUCN. What is IUCN? Come on, write down. Give the heading as IUCN. International Union for Conservation of Nature. Come on, give the heading as IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature. Let us see something regarding the historical background of this institution. Why this institution is important, why it is accepted by the entire world countries. Earlier it was not a United Nations institution, but why and how it has entered into the United Nations. Why the reports of this institution were so prominent, why they are accepted by all the world institutions. Let us see the historical background. After the historical background, then we will come to know the important structures within the organization. What are the important committees that are present there? What is the nature of that particular one? And what do you mean by red data book? All you people are well aware of one book called as red data book. But many people don't know about the another book called as green data book. There is a book called as green data book, which is also released by IUCN. Since red data book was the question in UPSC and therefore red data book became so popular and the criteria within the red data book becomes very, very popular. Some of the species are given as, yes, this particular species is critically endangered. Some of the species are given as endangered. Some of the species are given as vulnerable. On the same lines, there is another data book called as Green Data Book. What that Green Data Book talks about? It talks about the protected areas of the world. Just like the Red Data Book talks about the species, Green Data Book talks about area. Now, could you correlate this particular classification with the conservation classification? In the conservation classification, we talked about two classifications. One is in situ, ex situ. Another one is area based. Another one species based. Areas based and the species based conservation, right? Now, there are two books within the IUCN. One is very popular called as Red Data Book, where it talks about the species. Whether the species is endangered, critically endangered, or got extinct, or it is extinct in wild, or the people are least bothered about that particular species. This is what Red Data Book talks about. There is another book called as Green Data Book. Never there was a question in UPSC regarding the Green Data Book. Maybe in the future this can be a question in the UPSC asking the Green Data Book. What the Green Data Book talks about? It talks about area, not the species. It talks about the area. Which are the areas which are protected in the world countries, whether they are under national parks, whether they are under wildlife sanctuaries, whether they are under biosphere reserves, all they are enlisted in the Green Data Book. Unlike Red Data Book, where it is published regularly, Green Data Book is not published. Whatever the world protected areas that are there, that are mentioned there itself. And so it is not so popular. But you should be knowing that another book is there called as Green Data Book. Clear? Now, let us start with the structure of IUCN. Come on. Come on, write down something regarding IUCN. Come on, give the heading as IUCN. The International Union for Conservation of Nature. Come on, write down the notes. International Union for Conservation of the Nature. Established in the year 1948. Established in the year 1948. Basically at France, later shifted to IUCN, established in the year 1948, basically located at France, but later shifted to Gland, Switzerland. See this one? IUCN headquarters are located in Gland, Switzerland. Once upon a time it was in the France. It was in France, but later shifted to Switzerland. Clear? This is the introduction. What was the full name earlier? International Union for. Come on, write down. What was the full name earlier? But right now it is popularly called as International Union for Conservation of Nature. But what is the full form earlier? International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. The word natural resources was deleted in the year 1956. Earlier it was called as International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. Natural resources word was deleted. It was deleted in the year 1956. Now, in the next period, write down. In the year 1961, something happened. IUCN funded, in the year 1961, IUCN funded, FUNDED, funded WWF. What is this WWF? It's not the World Wrestling Fund. WWF is World Wildlife Fund for the Nature. Come on. It funded WWF, World Wildlife Fund for the Nature. IUCN funded WWF, and WWF became reality because of IUCN funding. IUCN funding. WWF became reality because of IUCN funding. Because of funding, it became reality, right? Then, next very important point. IUCN. See the next very important point. IUCN was given observer status. IUCN was given observer status in the United Nations General Assembly. It was given observer status in the United Nations General Assembly. This is a very important point. Because of the observer status in the United Nations General Assembly only, the IUCN reports are very, very famous. Because of publishing famous reports, it was given observer status. See the two statements? What I said first of all, because it is observer in the United Nations, its reports are famous. This is one statement. The second statement, see the second statement. The second statement says that because of the observer status, the first statement is because of observer status, its reports are famous. First statement. Second statement, because of releasing very important statements, reports, IUCN was given observer status. Both the statements are true. Got the point? As it is publishing the authentic reports, collecting all the authentic data from ground level people, and so the report is authentic. Because of publishing the authentic reports, it was given the IUCN status, United Nations General Assembly observation status. It was given United Nations observer status, right? Because of observer status, its importance again got boosted up. Both the statements are right, right? This is the importance of IUCN. Come on, write down. One more point. Altogether, see this one. Altogether, 1300 member organizations are working. Just imagine. 1300 member organizations are working for IUCN. What do you mean by 1300 member organization? Just like whatever the organization from India. I am giving some of the examples of Indian organizations associated with IUCN. How IUCN will be preparing the reports? By collecting the reports from these member organizations. Let me give some of the member organizations so that you can understand the importance of that particular report. Come on, write down. Important member countries, member organizations from India. Important IUCN member organizations from India. Like number 1, Botanical Survey of India, BSI. BSI is a member country, member organization, not member country, member organization. BSI, Botanical Survey of India, is a member organization. Whatever the reports submitted by the Botanical Survey of India, the government of India will be accepting. In fact, it is an Indian authentic organization. India's authentic organization where it is Indian authentic organization. Okay, it is India's authentic organization where based upon this organization report only, India will be giving the report. When the same report was submitted to IUCN, don't you think that that is the authentic report? Right? Botanical Survey of India, on the same lines. Zoological Survey of India. Botanical Survey of India, Zoological Survey of India. Then the third organization, write down some of the organizations, come on. Botanical Survey of India, Zoological Survey of India. Then Forest Survey of India. Forest Survey of India. The Forest Survey of India is also a member organization. Then after the Forest Survey of India, then you can talk about the Bombay Natural History and Society. There is a NGO which is a very old NGO. This is present right from the British time period. It's called as Bombay Natural History and Society, Heritage Society. Bombay Natural History and Heritage Society organization, which is an NGO, private organization, non-governmental organization, is also a member organization. Means what? It includes both governmental as well as the non-governmental organizations. Clear? It includes both the governmental, right on. It includes IUCN member countries, includes both governmental as well as the non-governmental organizations. Governmental and non-governmental organizations, right? This is about the IUCN member countries. Then after this one, the next one. What are the commissions? Yes, this is the important point. What are the commissions in which IUCN will be focusing on? Come on, let us see this one. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 commissions are there. There are 6 commissions where IUCN will be focusing on. What I will do is, I will stop the class today, as it is, for me it is an experimental mode, but I got accustomed right now. From tomorrow, again tomorrow 5 o'clock we will be having the class. Right from tomorrow we will be having continuous class and we will be completing all these things. Right? Is it okay? In fact, I would have taken this experimental type of class yesterday itself, but somehow because of the technical glitches, I couldn't complete this one. But right now, everything is set right and there is no hindrance at all. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock, we will be meeting with the other organizations of IUCN. Once we complete IUCN, then immediately we go to the CITS. After CITS, we enter into the traffic. After the traffic, we enter into the Ramsar Convention. Then comes the larger picture called as Convention on Biodiversity. Probably tomorrow we will be completing all this convention, enter into the Convention on Biodiversity. Clear? See you tomorrow at exact 5 o'clock sharp. Not just like today where I have started around some 5:10 or 5:15. Okay? Tomorrow we will be meeting exactly sharp at 5. Is it okay? Until then, take care. See you. Bye-bye. Good night. Come tomorrow at 5. Until then, take care. See you. Bye-bye.